Our orange, I want to say. Yellow, orange? I think orange. Protoss in the bottom right.
Yes.
Thank you. Against his blue opponent, Symbol, as our Zerg representing team SEV Life. By the way, do you know, is DesRow representing the team right now? I'm not even sure. Eclipsia. Okay, cool.
Have you? Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, they're a pretty up-and-coming team, I think. Like, I think they were recently
Didn't they have some
formed.
drama about, like...
Were they the team that said, like...
April Fool's joke about not paying their
Was that
people or
them?
something? I don't know. I thought it was. I could be remembering wrong.
You might be right.
And everybody was like, why would you make an April Fool's joke about something like that?
I know, that's the question.
But hey, it brought their team a lot of publicity, man. I don't know. Maybe they know what they're doing. Who knows?
Yeah, it was an interesting decision. And I was like, I'm trying, like... God, my memory's so bad. I remember being like...
Yeah, me too.
I remember being like... I don't know, it was like yesterday. I'm like, gosh, I should have done that for April Fool's. That would have been awesome. And it was StarCraft 2 related, but now I can't remember what it was.
I have those thoughts all the time. It's always when you're trying to fall asleep, man. Like,
yes!
You're going to sleep, you're like, I just want to go to sleep now. Come on, brain, stop thinking. And you come up with the best idea of all time.
I need
and then you fall asleep and forget about it.
I need a notepad next to my bed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
me too.
In the middle of the night, you're like, get these revelations. You're like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
you're like, oh, I actually go Forgate and then drop my Forge. And then...
And then you wake up.
Sometimes
like,
I think about StarCraft when I'm lying in bed.
Dude, I commentate in my sleep. It's like
nice.
No, I hate like, and I keep doing it.
What, you don't like it?
No, I mean no. My roommates get annoyed.
Oh, you actually do it out loud? You mean? I thought you meant like in your dreams.
Literally out loud. It's not like I'm sleeping and I'm imagining I'm on the main stage of MLG casting. No, I literally sit up in my bed while half asleep and start commentating a black screen in front of me.
It's
terrible,
funny, man.
And I don't know how to stop it. If anyone has any advice
tape?
or psychological treatment they can suggest me, please let me know, because it is a problem and it's quite terrifying.
That sucks. I thought you meant, like, at first when you were talking about, like, just casting your dreams. Like, I would love to do that. I love casting, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to just cast all the time in my dreams. Like, this may be my job, but I do it because it's so much fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But when I'm losing sleep because of it, it's like...
Yeah, no, that's pretty bad. 6 slings, though, coming out from Symbol here.
Oh, wow.
Interesting choice. And he's not even going after the pylon.
Awesome.
He's going straight to DesRow's base. What a risky move. If DesRow just drops another gateway, he won't do anything at all with these.
Does the pylon cover that far?
It should, yeah. It's got more than half. As long as it has more than half the building, it's able to be put down. DesRow.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a little crack, but there's not.
Yeah.
And Can's gonna finish. He can ultimately cancel the second gateway and put down a Cybercore, but not yet. And he should do it right when the gateway finishes, or a little bit prematurely.
Yeah, he's gonna put a pylon. Nobody likes to do that full wall anymore like they did back in beta, because you want to be able to move out with forward probes to get up forward pylons, etc. But what that did do, a lot of people underestimate how effective it can actually be just applying that pressure with those lings, just dropping that extra gateway and spending that money. Look at how late the double gas is from DesRow. Generally, you want to put that down like as soon as you can after starting your first gateway. So instead, he had to drop the second gateway, then drop the pylon, then drop double gas. So, you know, that little play from Symbol may have seemed like it was a waste and it was a bad move instead of killing the pylon, but he did manage to delay DesRow's tech just a little bit.
Yeah, and a reason you don't send your lings all the way across the map at first is to take care of that pylon that's at the natural expansion. But Symbol was able to get a hatchery at his third base. DesRow unable to deny that with his probe, so he's not going to be too far behind in that regard. But, I keep adding on but, I talked about this map before, the rocks leading to the third. You can do some aggression to the third, and it's hard to reinforce, but again, like you mentioned earlier, the gases were late, and I think that in and of itself is going to make this third like that much more safe.
Yeah, when you think about it, timing's like, I mean, he's already getting +1 and it's been scouted by this Overlord. Oh, I love double Overlord positioning here from Symbol, but if he's just going to go for another thing like +1 4-gate or something, just think about that with that gas being mined.
Yeah, that's huge.
The +1, yeah, it might be like 10 seconds late. And you know what? Every second counts. Sometimes, you know, the roaches just pop out just barely in time, keep the hatchery alive, things like that. So this is a really precarious build, PvZ, and it has to be done absolutely perfectly for it to be effective. So DesRow already being just a little behind might end up hurting him quite a bit here. We'll see. I mean, he's throwing down a lot of chrono to his warp gate, but he didn't save that much chrono. He used a lot on his nexuses. So he actually doesn't have... You know, he's going to have one more chrono and then maybe one more after that, but he won't be able to full chrono these upgrades all the way to completion. He's going for 4-gate. I don't know, man.
Better timing than last game.
Oh, wow, that's a fast Twilight as well.
Yeah, this is what he did last game, kind of, sort of. Yeah, the Twilight was a little bit fast.
Yeah, that's
But it was like about this time he put down the gateways, whereas right now the gateways are...
That's true, they're on time this game.
Yeah, they're halfway. So he just needs to get a forward pylon up. The Stalker is all going to escort this VIP probe to be able to make that forward pylon. There is a Zerling in position to see that this is coming. And we'll see what Symbol ends up doing. Is the Roach Warren down yet? He's getting plenty of gas. No Roach Warren down yet. 9 drones in production.
Oh, again, Symbol taking such a big risk doing that. Is he just going to rush his lair again after those drones? There's his Roach Warren and Evo Chamber. Okay, so he's going to play it a little more standard in that regard. Will he have them in time, though? DesRow, I believe, yeah, Warp Gate just completed. And, oh, wow, he immediately... Look at this transition. He's not even going to be aggressive with 4 gates. I mean, he can't really afford to make that many units. He's rushing 7 gate with Blink and +2 yet again. But it's just so fast without starting off with the Zealot aggression. Maybe he's just going to use the Zealots to, try to force his opponent to make a bunch of units, and then he'll follow it up with the Blink Stalkers. It's an interesting build. If he doesn't take damage from a counterattack like last game, we'll get to see if this will end up working out the way he intends it to.
Yeah, he's going straight for... The queens are so important right now. If you can take down at least 1 queen, that's actually a pretty darn big deal. But the Ronks are down, so the queen will be able to get out there, out of there
this time too.
Quite quickly. And 38 lings in production, so not even making roaches yet. Very interesting decision there, but it makes sense considering his economy right now. And Blink's almost done, +2, still a ways to go. So DesRow's going to be hitting pretty hard soon.
Yeah, I mean... With Blink already almost done, you can just warp in a whole bunch of Stalkers. I love this positioning. He's playing so well of the map, just holding that ramp, so the Lings can't get a surround on those Stalkers just with the Zealots in front. He's starting to warp in as many Stalkers as possible. Actually warping in still more Zealots, so he's very wary about the high Zergen count he's dealing with. 10 Roaches are on the way now from Symbol. We'll see if that'll be enough in time. But with no Spine Crawler here, the Queen's going to go down immediately. Lings trying to get around and maybe pick off a forward pylon or go for a counterattack. That's not going to work this time. There is a Zealot in preparation. There's also a Sentry being warped in, so he'll be able to force field that if he needs. And Symbol may have made a mistake here, going for all those Lings instead of those Roaches. And now seeing that he can't actually do any damage with his counterattack, this is starting to look pretty brutal and hard for him to hold off.
DesRow needs to keep that pylon alive. It looks like Symbol was going for that, but the Ling's going to get picked at by those Zealots. Symbol doing some decent damage to the Stalkers, but blinking on the other side of the Zealots. The Zealots are watching overhead as the Stalkers fly over them. That's, of course, to get the Zealots close to the Lings, because, of course, that's a direct counter. And now DesRow's in a decent situation here. More Roaches and Lings on the way, but keep in mind, +2 hasn't even finished yet, and it's about to finish, and that's going to make DesRow that much stronger.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, he's supply blocked right now, though, so he can't produce any more Stalkers. Desperately needs to get some more pylons, but it might not matter. He has so many right here. He's going in. He's got +2, unfortunately. 20 seconds from completion, so he's only at +1 right now. Whoa, an offensive blink straight off into the Roaches makes no sense at all. That may lose him the game, actually.
Oh my, I can't believe he just did that.
That may have been a misclick, to be honest.
How do you misclick that? I'm trying to...
Well, sometimes you, like, the Stalker you were trying to click on dies, and you click Blink, and you actually had all your Stalkers selected or something. I've definitely had that type of play happen to me. Usually it's in the opposite direction. But that misblink may end up just losing the game. The forward pylon's being taken out. There is another one back farther away, though, so not as big of a deal as Symbol probably thinks it is to suicide a bunch of units for it. The attack's certainly not over, though, and +2 is done.
DesRow still advancing forward. More Roaches, more Lings in production. The lack of a Queen at his third hurting him a little, but still injecting his main in natural. 7 Roaches in that production tab. DesRow, can he micro this well enough to take down Symbol in this game? Lings coming forward, needs to blink away the wicked Stalkers. That's exactly what he does. Zealot's getting some nice shots off on those Lings. +2 on the way for Symbol. And DesRow could still do this.
Absolutely. That was unfortunately a missed micro there by Symbol. He had unfortunately it was due to the blink, but all of his Lings were on the Zealots. You really don't want that. When the Zealots have +2 and your Lings only are at 0-0, they're getting absolutely decimated. So just having his Lings on the Zealots instead of on the Stalkers hurt him so much right now. And this Blink Stalker count is just so difficult for him to deal with. He's got 20 more Lings, 4 more Roaches on the way, +2 on the way as well. Will it be enough? I love this surround with the drones, but of course they can just blink away. So Symbol is just losing more and more units, and DesRow is being so efficient with Blink, keeping Stalkers alive as long as possible. He may have taken this game regardless of that missed Blink earlier on.
Blink Stalkers are pretty darn good. DesRow showing that fact, blinking away the wicked stuff. Does end up blinking it away, and Symbol is running out of units. Has plenty of gas, but can't really use it. And DesRow just keeps warping in more and more units to reinforce, and DesRow is going to win this game.
Yeah, there it is. GG gets called out. I think what you just pointed out at the end was actually really important. The amount of gas that he has saved up. That's one of those things where managing your gas, managing your economy, so important. And to essentially waste a lot of mineral income that he could have had mining off of 4 gas. I don't know. For some reason, he just tried to rush up 4 gas, which is bizarre. Even when you're going for layer roach tech, normally you don't only go up for 3 gas. And if you're not going for layer roach tech, you just go up to 2 gas. So if he was going to be producing nothing but roaches, maybe he would only have like 200 gas left at the end or something. But he was making a ridiculous amount of lings. And if you're planning on making that many lings at a time, you really got to be careful to have more efficiency with your economy. So that on top of just a missed micro, he actually suicided a lot of units just to get that forward pylon. When you think about it, I mean, that's a big investment. So if there's also a forward pylon behind that, you're kind of just taking a gamble. Like, oh, I hope you don't have another forward pylon. I'm just going to kill this one and then fall back. And DesRow was able to just keep using Blink, keeping efficient, and keep his stalkers alive, and eventually overrun Symbol.
Yeah, I mean, like when it happened, we were like, whoa, that was a little, like he just made all those lings and the Roach Warren was done. It was...
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Quite interesting. And again, plus one Zealots against non-upgraded lings. Sure, they had speed. And then, of course, once +2 kicks in, it gets even crazier. But well played by DesRow. I got to say that.
I like that build.
It was interesting. It's like he got that Twilight so fast, and then he added on those additional gateways. Just hit really fast with that blink timing, and Symbol was unprepared for it. Anything else you want to add?
Just that I'm definitely going to be copying that build ban because I'm certainly one of the people having trouble with 3 edge no gas builds.
I thought you didn't like the all in stuff.
Well, I don't like all ins, but you don't have to do that all in. That's one of those builds that you can either do it all in or you can do it and take a third behind it and be a little bit less aggressive. Mm-hmm. I just love how it's like you start with +1, you start with Zealots, and the Zerg is going to scout that if they're good. They're going to see your Forge. They have to prepare for +1 4-gate Zealot. They have to, or they're going to die to just your Zealots, right? So, and then you just have this ridiculously fast Blink follow-up that most Zergs are not going to be expecting. Like, who gets Blink that quickly after a 4-gate Zealot? It's like, it just doesn't happen that often. So, doing that and just having that follow-up available, especially given the map, I think the map was like almost entirely like you could say, oh, it's the map imbalance or something, which I don't think it is, but it's really more of DesRow playing to the map very intelligently, putting his forward pylon up on that upper ground, holding that location and using his Zealots where the rocks are. It's just a good strategy for that map specifically because the Lings could not get in and kill the forward pylon. He just blocked the ramp with Zealots. Just really, really well done. So.
Yeah, really cool play. Like that forward pylon is pretty much everything of that push. Like it's the same time. It's the same thing as like making sure that you have the correct saturation on probes, that you're chrono boosting your driver core. You got to keep that forward pylon alive. But that being said, the series is currently tied. DesRow versus Symbol, 1-1 a PVZ. Can DesRow pull off the upset, or will Symbol put DesRow away? We'll find out coming after this break. It is currently 1-1 between DesRow and Symbol. This is the Korean Weekly, Season 3, Week 1, Day 1. Don't go anywhere.